Oh, new match engine AI. Alright, I guess it's time to go make a video. Hello world and welcome to, I guess, something that I will try to do more often, especially running up to Football Manager 21 release on the 24th of November. It's a video reacting to some news articles that were posted by Football Manager themselves and regarding to how they updated the game and how the game is going to look like. You know, we're all excited. We all want to play this game as soon as possible. And the demo is about to drop literally anytime. I will not be surprised if I finish this video and it's going to be up. I mean, I'm joking. Probably not. But, you know, you never know with these guys. They're very consumer friendly. Man, I love the fact that demos before used to be 2 weeks ago and now 2 weeks, in advance. And then like last year, they're like, oh yeah, how about 3 weeks? Have it 3 weeks ahead. How about 4 weeks? How about you always have it, one day. But yeah, today the main thing for this video will be we'll be talking about the match engine AI in this game. They did some changes. We're gonna be covering 5 topics. I hope you enjoy. I put on the face cam because I'm gonna be doing a little bit more talking, a bit more. You're gonna have to look at me. So I thought the face cam would be a dumb idea, but I think once I'll be transferring to, I guess, what's on the screen itself, that's when I'll be doing the shitty camera. And yeah, I'll also be showing you some tactic stuff just to explain some things, pretend I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I might have played a little bit of football. I might have done a little bit of coaching badges, but when you play Football Manager, you like to pretend you know what you're doing. I mean, come on, I took Bolton to the Premier League, right? And the Europa League final, huh? Guess how that ended up? Anyways, I guess let's jump into it. Let's go to the first one, the first topic that talk about, and that's decision making. Okay, so decision making. It's one of a cool thing that, for me, kind of, breaks my head a little bit when I think about it. Because as you guys know, the graphical user interface Football Manager, it's just stats. You have your dribbling, your tactics, whatever, all that crap. And all this stuff has to go in a code somewhere. And that code, which is the player, has to decide what the hell they're going to do at any moment. And they call that moment a slice, any moment, whatever. I don't know if they call every quarter of a second. They say every quarter of a second. That's when they make a decision, and then they base it on like that. So decision leaves your player to make a run and stuff like this. However, in this Football Manager 21, they actually decided, hey, let's do it even better. What happens now, mid-slice, if they're like, oh shit, what's the point of me dribbling into 3 defenders? I've decided it then, but in between me deciding to do it now and me actually executing it, the defenders converged. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go the other way. That's brilliant. I have no idea how they're going to code it. I really hope that one day someone will release a video being like, this is how this works. I mean, obviously, maybe not to the extent of, ruining the game or like stealing the code, but maybe like the older Football Managers, like, okay, so this is code A, this is what it does, this is what it does, this is what it does. So that's kind of cool. And again, with that, they'll be working on the match animations themselves. So as you know, there's the match engine itself, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to get the words wrong. So one of them talks only about what actually happens in the code, and the other one actually shows you it. And for me personally, I've always found a thing where the players do a bit weird looking stuff when you can see it in 3D, but then it's probably, the computer trying to catch up and like, oh crap, you're actually doing this instead of that. So, they're working on that as well. Maybe we'll be able to get some good stuff. Who knows? But hey, it's very exciting. And then it's a smaller piece, and I've already covered a lot of it. So let's jump on to the next one. Okay. So this one is awesome because it's called defensive awareness. As a former defender myself, I know all about defensive awareness and lack thereof. And the problem is, Football Manager, even though it's a great game, I've noticed quite a lot of the times that you cannot really depend on your defense. You have to have the best of the best to be able to consistently not make mistakes. And I think that's the key word for me, mistakes. Again, this is coming from my own personal, experiences with the last game, and this is not going to be everyone's. This is not going to be. I'm not an expert. I've played Football Manager for 7 years, and then 1 year on YouTube, but 6 months on YouTube. But I think the thing is, and I'll show you. This is why I have this. The big problem I have on this game, and hopefully you can actually see it, is in situations like this. So the blue is the defense, yeah, and sometimes, and obviously black is the trackers. Sometimes a ball comes through here, yeah, and you have this guy here running on here. And what happens is either this guy, the defender, keeps tracking the guy, keeps running after him, and this guy does nothing. He just stands there going, "Oh, that's cool." And what that happens into is this guy, instead of I need to get markers. Instead of being phased out by this guy, he just keeps running and scores. And this guy makes a little bit of motions. He makes a little bit of motions. This guy makes a little bit of motions. Keeper doesn't come out. It's an easy goal, and that's what pisses me off the most. In theory, what would happen, again, basing on my lack of football knowledge, what would actually happen is this guy would, keep chasing, obviously, but then at some point, this center back here would press in here. So this center back, let's put CB, and let's put fullback, just so you guys know. Yeah. So now the center back becomes the fullback, and this guy makes the run here. So that's what should happen in football. Again, very grossly, exaggerated. But a lot of the times the player is lost in the game for some reason. Another big aspect of it, as they said, will be a big player is this in decision making is marking. So if your marking is good, you will try not to lose your player. And a lot of the times that's what happens. Your world-class center back, who's got 18 marking, just loses the man. And you don't understand why. You're like, well, there's nothing much you can train. And hopefully, with that, there'll be actually some cool stuff with it. You can have the marking, and then you can have the full defense actually working together. They're shifting across, they're covering each other. So that'll be kind of cool. So that's another thing. I think one more thing they're talking about, they're more adaptive when they're facing long balls forward, because I did notice you're very, very prone to a counterattack, especially when you're playing, obviously when you're playing an attacking type of formation. But again, that little bit of defensive awareness is very important, I think, especially for a player like me. But yeah, let's just jump into attacking in the final third, and it's getting more and more exciting. Okay, so this one I think had a huge blog post, and if you can see here, I'm gonna show you the page itself. It's quite a big article. And again, to summarize this a little bit, so what's gonna happen now? I think, from what they've explained, in the final third, you will actually have, when you pick a certain formation and when you pick go wide or go narrow, that's what the players will do. If you say go wide, they will go wide, and it'll be a bit more effective. They will not just go, yeah, sure, go wide, whatever, we'll do whatever the hell we want. No. This actually shows that, hey, it'll be more effective, which would be kind of cool. I think it's cool. There's not many ways I've noticed to play wide. I think for this year, definitely the narrow formations were better. But at the same time, it would be kind of cool. A lot of teams focus their play on the wings. And I think it's really important. Another big thing is the fact that, the positioning of the attacking midfielders and the strikers will be a bit nuanced. A lot of the times, I think your advanced playmakers will be kind of isolated and nowhere where he needs to be, he needs to be finishing the pass, he needs to be finishing something. And your striker just, buggers off somewhere, doesn't make the runs. He just kind of goes, I don't know what I'm doing. So with that, there'll be very, very good stuff. Another big thing for me, really, is the fact that now there'll be more and more through balls. Through balls are very, very important to break any kind of defense. And if you're a good player, if you're Kevin De Bruyne, man, you're playing those through balls when you're sleeping. So imagine, like I had Igor Vera with, 20 vision and 18 passing. I haven't seen many through balls. And I had, very, very pacey players. I think I had the, play ball into space. Didn't work. But maybe now that player, 20 vision and 18, that's probably better than Kevin De Bruyne in Football Manager. But hopefully that will do something. And another big thing, which will be quite interesting, is the fact that now they will have VAR making mistakes. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? VAR making mistakes. Man, we all know how frustrating VAR can be. We've had multiple examples of VAR being a potato, measuring everything. And just as long as this game is not too stupid in that regard, I think, first of all, as long as it doesn't take 5 minutes to make a decision and the game shows you all the little animations of them like measuring stuff, I'll be happy. And also, a lot of the times you don't really notice the mistakes. I don't think so. Sometimes you go, ooh, that looks dodgy, but then something else happens and you're like, okay, I have to focus on that. So it's not like you don't go like throwing things and breaking your computer like you're doing FIFA. But yeah, that's kind of the big stuff I noticed. I'm gonna be missing some stuff, obviously. I think another big thing here, I just noticed, which is very important. Now, the defenders and the attackers will not shoot from stupid angles. So let's go to the other side of our box, and hopefully the microphone will be happy with what I just did. So that's a very crappy box. But what happens is, let's say your striker's here. Let's say your other striker's here. He's, hopefully you can see it. Oh, this is a nice smiley face. So he's making a run here. Yeah, I think the box is too big. And instead of squaring it across, he decides to shoot on the side netting. That's a problem many of you have encountered, all of us have encountered, I think. And whenever that doesn't happen, whenever your striker goes, holy crap, I should pass, it's a party. It's a party and a celebration. So hopefully they've addressed that, and next year will be quite more interesting. So now we got 2 more things to go. Let's jump into it. And this one, I think, is personally most perfect for me. Central play. Central play. Yes, central play. And that is something that's kind of bypassed a little bit too often in Football Manager, especially Football Manager 20. For some reason, for me personally, again, I don't know if maybe I'm a stupid tactician or what, but whenever I try to go against big teams, I'm like, hey, they have very good midfield. I want to pack my midfield and try and make sure I win it. But the more I do it, the worse it gets. And I don't understand why, because it always seems to me like the midfield area is too bypassed. Your players, I think the only player that actually does well is the, I guess, deep line playmaker, really. But even then, he just kind of takes the ball in random positions and he plays it out and gets a random assist, and that's why his stats are boosted. But I feel like the effectiveness of center midfield play is much less in this game. It's not as exciting. A lot of the teams do focus down the middle. Obviously, it's not just simple. You don't just play, focus down the middle, and just goes run in the straight line down the middle. No. You play, you move around. But, a lot of the teams focus. So Chelsea focuses a lot of their play down the wing, down the middle, sorry. Play down the wing, you got like Kante, Havertz, you have Mount. You kind of try and fork around here. And the problem with that is you have all these players. You have 3 players in here. Yeah, all the 3 players here. And they're ignored a lot of the times. Maybe one of them, because they have a DLP setting, he'll be more involved. But the ball-winning midfielder here only helps out roughly here. I know it's a very weird line to draw it. And this guy does whatever he wants. So I think a lot of the times the play kind of just bypasses this. So if there's a ball into the wings, maybe, and they play it in somehow, or maybe, instead of just, playing out short, bang, 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 it's more like you take the ball, this guy dribbles it, and then makes a pass. So it's kind of, again, I don't know how much you can see. It's a crappy way of, I guess, explaining things, but hopefully you can understand it. Yep, so I guess this time, like with the wing stuff, when you say focus on the wing, focus down the mid will also be a big thing. Now, finally, we're on to the last one, and I hope this hasn't been too long of a video. So let's quickly jump into it, and then we'll see how excited we are for Football Manager 21. So the final thing that's in this blog or article or whatever you can call it is Goalkeeper Intelligence. And wow, this is exciting. First of all, the big thing, and you've noticed it too, the match ratings will actually show how well the keeper did. So you will no longer have, your keeper saving a penalty, keeping a clean sheet, saving all the shots, making sure your team wins 1-0 against Barcelona, even though Messi's having the game of his life, and getting 7.1. And you're like, whoa, that's a great rating. Typically you get 6.8, and that's all you ever deserve. So now, I don't know to what extent, but it'll be a bit better. So maybe 7.2. No, I'm joking. We'll find out soon. But also another big thing, and it's crazy the amount of code they put in, is the fact that goalkeepers will now consider the weather conditions. So if it's rainy and wet, they will not try to catch it. They will try to punch it out. So that's cool. That's really cool. I feel like soon Football Manager will approach real football. And they will now also come out on corners. That's amazing. They will come out, not just corners, but they will come out to catch crosses. So when you're running down the wing and you put a good cross in, and the keeper just jumps out and catches it instead of just being like this in his box. So that's another cool thing. I think another thing is their decision making is greatly improved. So now the goalkeeper actually makes a decision whether or not he needs to, pressure the striker or hold a little bit and cover the posts. That'll be kind of cool. They'll be depending a lot on the positioning of other players, and they'll make those decisions accordingly. So wow, that is cool. And let's, I guess, do a summary of us all. So what do I think? Well, man, I'm really excited for this stuff. I'm really excited for a lot of the stuff that's covered here. This is a very good article. It's very brief, and I've made it longer than it should be, really. But I think it's really important that we just say how much work these guys do. And It's incredible the amount of the level of depth of the coding, the level of things they consider. Come on, you have to put a code in to consider VAR making mistakes. And I know maybe it could be as simple as you have 0.01% of it being wrong or whatever. But I don't know how you do that. I don't think it's just put a coefficient in there. It's some crazy things they have to work it out, and then they probably have to do statistics to work out how often that happens. So it's incredible the amount of work they do. And I think one of the big, and I can't say how important this year. I think the big thing here is definitely the decision making of the players. So they'll be talking about the AI and how they actually approach the game. So now, if you have an idea, you tell it to your players. They will have more of a way to kind of use their brain as well. Just because you say pass the ball short and there's Bob running down the wing, he's open, he's free. Your players just won't go, nah, but I said play short. No, you probably go, I might consider that. So a lot of it's focused, again, in summary, defenders are smarter, attackers are smarter, goalkeepers are smarter, VAR is shit. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. I'm excited for Manager 21. I hope you liked this more chatty video. I hope you liked watching this instead of reading an article, which would have taken you probably, it says 4 minutes. This is already longer than 4 minutes. This is 40 minutes. No, it's not. But anyways, thank you for watching. Soon, maybe in a few days, I'll be releasing a Football Manager video regarding the teams you should manage if you're a beginner or intermediate player. And then I should do more of a challengey teams, if you're trying to go for a certain story you're trying to build, or if you're trying to play a game, it's also good to you. But yeah, anyways, thank you for watching. I'll be trying to catch up and check out more news, and hopefully I'll be able to bring it to you guys. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.